I spoke about preparing ICD for its next chapter, one that looks beyond our 25-year history and focuses on the future we want to build. So this year, we made significant steps toward that direction. It has been a year of strengthening our foundations, deepening our advocacy, and expanding the spaces where good governance can take root. And all of this was possible because each of you brought your time, expertise, and voice to our shared mission. We advanced initiatives that strengthen governance, both within and beyond the corporate sector. Our flagship project, which is the Capital Markets Transformation Roadmap under the guidance of Dr. Chess. Under this, we convened issuers, investors, intermediaries, and regulators to identify reforms that enhance market integrity and competitiveness. And thanks to Chair Francis Lim for his all-out support for this project. And then we began developing governance programs, not just for PLCs, but for nonprofit, cooperatives, microfinance institutions, and sectors that are essential to inclusive development and ready for more structured governance support. Internationally, we also continue to build our presence in the ASEAN, with Philippine PLCs being recognized under the revised ASEAN scorecards, and with deeper collaboration with regional governance counterparts. But this year is challenging as it required ICD to take a more explicit and active role on the integrity and corruption issues plaguing the country and confronting us currently. On this front, ICD's involvement has been direct and substantive, anchored on concrete partnerships and concrete results. ICD supported the launch of the Integrity Chain Initiative through a memorandum of agreement with DPWH and other partners. This transparency mechanism places project data, budgets, procurement documents, and construction milestones on a blockchain ledger accessible to the public. And so following this, ICD was identified as one of only 3 organizations tapped to vet the appointees of DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon. This recognition did not happen by coincidence. ICD proactively expressed its willingness to assist in improving integrity within the department, and our track record made us a trusted partner in ensuring that only qualified and ethical leaders are appointed. And I would like to say that of the 3 organizations, we were the first to respond with our feedback. And we would like to thank all of you for responding to that survey, giving specific feedback and general feedback from the proposed appointees of senior undersecretary down to the level of directors. And I think those feedback, as I was reading it, I didn't also realize that we have this network that can give those feedback. We just sent this week our feedback to Secretary Dizon. In parallel, ICD participated in several national statements calling for stronger transparency and accountability measures. We supported reforms for the bank secrecy and SALN laws demanding for its amendments. We joined the appeal for decisive action on the corruption scandal involving flood control and infrastructure projects. We raised governance concerns over the issue unfolding at GSIS. And this one, we spearheaded this. We were the lead organizations. And intentionally, we did not invite the big organizations except Phoenix because we wanted ICD to be captured by the media at the forefront and being considered as the governance organization. As you can see in the different, this was well picked up by media. So I think we made an edge as the corporate governance and as the governance organization by leading this statement. We also called for the protection of the Deposit Insurance Fund following the 107 billion transfer from PTIC to the National Treasury. We joined the declaration affirming long-term economic confidence while underscoring that policy stability, respect for the rule of law, and strong anti-corruption efforts are essential to sustaining investor trust. And let me assure you that when we join a statement, we vet the facts, as we don't want ICD to be embroiled in a battle, legal or otherwise. We want ICD to be looked at as credible, somebody that they can look up to, non-partisan. And that's what the board has been doing before joining any public statement. So beyond these national actions, ICD pursued forward-looking governance partnerships. We formally wrote to SEC Chairman Francis Lim. Francis, I hope you have received this, to express ICD's desire to collaborate as the Philippines chairs the ASEAN Capital Markets Forum, ensuring governance remains a core pillar of regional capital market forum. I hope you will say yes to us. I also propose to Justice Reform Initiative a partnership with government to make ethics and good governance lessons mandatory for all elected and appointed officials before taking their oath of office, positioning ICD as a training partner, and should this initiative move forward. Likewise, ICD is initiating partnerships with the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board and other self-regulatory organizations to require governance education as part of their accreditation processes, helping institutionalize governance standards across industries that shape national development. These efforts demonstrate that ICD does not merely comment on government issues. We act, we engage, we propose solutions, and we collaborate with institutions that influence both corporate and public governance. These are real initiatives with real partners aimed at producing real results. So as we look ahead to 2026, I hope this spirit of engagement becomes even stronger. ICD has always been at its